Okay, quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. So today's video, I want to have a quick one about the unseen costs of cheap food in Great Britain. So cheap food might actually be costing you more than you think. If you stick around, I'm going to demonstrate how the hidden prices we're all paying are certainly not worth it, and also how you can break free from it. So supermarkets push low prices and they push their value ranges, but the real cost of cheap food in Britain is felt elsewhere other than the wallet. It's felt in your health, it's felt in our economy, and also in our communities. So by the end of this video, you'll understand the deeper and often invisible damage that's caused by arguably cheap food culture, and also how very small changes can actually protect yourself and your family. So let's get into it. So you've got the health crisis link. Now, ultra processed foods, all of that crap that kind of sits around the middle of your supermarket, that dominates UK supermarket shelves. It doesn't matter where you go. You could be shopping at Waitrose, you could be shopping at Co-op, the more expensive end, you could be shopping at Lidl and Aldi, the budget end. It makes no difference. It's the same crap, just different colourful packaging. It's definitely, and I mean definitely, been connected to rising obesity. And anybody that argues against that or thinks that I'm wrong, take yourself outside and have a word. It's been linked to heart disease. It's been linked to diabetes, and that's without question. And yet supermarkets still peddle these products. Farmers are being squeezed. Supermarkets basically drive down farm gate prices. This forces UK farmers to operate at a loss or go bust. And if you don't believe me, you've only got to jump on Prime, have a little look at Clarkson's farm. It is Jeremy Clarkson. I mean, he's not perhaps that credible, but he does go into it. You actually see living examples of this in his series, not just himself, but the farms that are surrounding him, and it led to him trying to do a cooperative and all the rest of it. It's real. Farmers are actually being had over massively. There's the environmental cost. Cheap meat and things like monoculture crops, that's just where you basically produce one type of crop, whether it's corn or barley or wheat or whatever. That basically fuels deforestation. Over farming is a result of this. And then obviously you've got CO2 heavy supply chains, which damage the environment further. You've got the food waste paradox. Now, this is where supermarkets overstock to then look cheap. Aldi, Lidl, Asda, here's looking at you. This leads to huge levels of waste. And if you don't believe me, again, look back at my videos. You can see that I've been, and I've videoed it, it's on my YouTube. I've been to supermarkets. This was Morrison's, and I've picked up whole chickens that are normally £6.5, £7 for 50p. Massive packets of steak, 50p. It's like it every week, and I'm not even making that up. Every week I go to a supermarket. Early in the morning is normally best for my area. I can walk in there with 20 quid and come out sometimes with £100+ worth of food. Now, it depends what you eat. It depends what kind of stuff you go for. I'm massive on meat and I'm massive on veg. And arguably, that's the stuff that you find. You don't find the crap discounted. You find the cheap stuff discounted. But not every supermarket does that. And not every supermarket actually discounts their food. So, this leads to them just throwing it away. They could donate it to food shelters. They could donate it to a charity when it's on its date. Give it to the bloody homeless. Do something meaningful with it. But they don't. They just toss it in the bin. In actual fact, 9.5 million tons of food is wasted every year in the UK. The average UK family, 2 adults, 2 kids, wastes over £1,200 worth of food in a year. So if you break that down, that's about £25 a week in food that's potentially getting wasted. Now, I know that I don't waste that much. Absolutely not. I might throw away a yogurt in a week. I might throw away a banana in a week. Uh, um, in a week, pretty much everything that I buy gets eaten, and what I don't want to eat, I blend up into smoothies, or I juice and whatever else. But that's an incredible number, an average of £1,200 a year. Who'd have thunk it? You've got exploitation overseas. So cheap imported goods, they often rely on, inhumane, let alone poor, but absolutely inhumane working conditions in other countries, the source countries for those products. That's at the end of the day not good. We shouldn't be supporting that. There is a hidden consumer cost, shrinkflation, greedflation, all the rest of it. And I've done videos on this before. You get quality cuts that mean you're basically paying the same or fractionally more, but you're getting less. You're getting less in volume and you're getting less in nutritional value. There's no benefit there. You're getting basically had over at both ends. So how can you break free from this? Well, arguably, one of the best answers is to support local producers. Buying from farm shops, buying from butchers, buying from your greengrocer. It's not always as expensive as you might think. You can get good deals, and they still do discounted goods occasionally, in the same way that supermarkets do. Now, it might be that you've not got any of that near you, and if that's not the case, if that's the case, that's just tough luck. You can't really do anything about that. But what you can do is you can understand price versus value, and you can avoid the supermarket loyalty traps. Now, I did a video back along on basically trying to save money. One of the hacks or little kind of tips that I had was signing up to loyalty cards. That was around 5-6 months ago, I think. And yeah, I take it all back. I take it all back. In the same way that QI revises the answers to its questions every couple of years, I'm revising mine to that video. The loyalty cards, they're not often worth it. You can get better deals just shopping around. The biggest draw with the loyalty cards is that for lazy people, which is most of us, we think we're lulled by these economic giants into thinking that they're in it for us. They're in it for us, trying to help feed us and save us money. It's absolute codswallop. It's steaming BS. They're in it to get your data. Now, irrespective of what they say, that they won't share your data, I can guarantee you they do. 100% they do. And the reason I know this is that I signed up to a loyalty card. It was actually Morrison's. And I did it purposely using an email that I created just to sign up to that card. That email has never been used anywhere else. It was a Gmail, but I created it using Google, made a Gmail. The only thing that I've used that for, the only thing that I clicked on was the Morrison's More card. And since then, I've had all sorts. I've had emails through for insurance, for my house, for mortgage offers. Specsavers have sent me crap. They sell your data. They're not meant to. GDPR says they mustn't if you tick that little box, but 100% they do. I won't bang on too much about data because I've done videos on that before. Obviously, go back and check them out if you want. But you can't trust them. These economic giants are not in it to help you. They're in it to help their shareholders. They're in it to help their CEOs and the people on the board. They're in it to basically become the biggest. They're not in it for the people. And that is the unseen cost of cheap food in Britain. And let's not forget some of the psychology that supermarkets use. And I don't know if you're aware of this. You might be, you might not be. Of all the brands that you find, let's just say, I don't know, Sainsbury's, for example. So Sainsbury's have got their kind of basic, their value range. They've then got their middle tier range, which is in slightly less offensive orange and white packaging. And And then they've got their version of, like, the finest, the best, or whatever you want to call it. So with their own Sainsbury's brand, they've got a poverty level, they've got a middle class level, and they've got tweed elbow pads and generational income level. So they've pitched it that way so that there is a poor offering, but they've done it in such a way that they're trying to gear you towards buying the middle value product, because the level of stigma attached going to the till with a plain white can with an orange band around the top, some people don't like that. So that knocks them up to the next price point, of course. So they've done that, but also what you don't know is that Sainsbury's have about another 15 different brands, and they give them different names. They might have something like, Burton's Farm that makes cheese or makes milk or cream or whatever. They might have Woodville Bakery, or I mean, I'm just making names up here, but it could be like Woodville Bakery or Woodmore Bakery that does the bread, that does the cakes. And then they might have another one that does a bit of fruit or a bit of packeted veg and all the rest of it. And they also own those. They've just given them different names. So in actual fact, when you're shopping around a supermarket, and this applies to most of them, if not all of them, you might think that they carry maybe 100 or 200 different brands within the thousands and tens of thousands of products that they offer. What you don't know is that 25% of those are actually owned by the bloody supermarket in the first place. It's all a cash grab. If you don't believe me, again, do your research, go on Google, go on Reddit, go on the forums. It's not rocket science. You can work this out. But look, I'm interested to know what your take on this is. What do you see as being the unseen cost of cheap food in Britain? Have you noticed, if you're buying food for your family, that the cheaper value foods lack nutritional benefit? Have you noticed that the expensive foods don't really seem to add that much more? Are you one of these poor sods that falls victim to the middle aisle in the supermarket where all the prepackaged nasties live? Let me know in the comments. YouTube is going to put another video there. Like, follow, subscribe. That'd be grand. And yeah, another one tomorrow. Goldman. Peace out.